if people decide to elect Dennis Bova as their assemblyman, what are they getting? Tell us about you.
Well, born and raised in Utica, New York, from the area.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Notre Dame, graduated from high school there. Got my degree from Middle Tennessee State University, got a bachelor's there. Did my nursing school at St. Elizabeth's. Been in the healthcare industry in this area for about 12 years.
All right.
I've done a number of jobs before that. I was a broker with Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, purchasing agent for a major company, worked for Disney for a little bit, and human resource, or with customer service, or I'm sorry, guest service.
Guest services.
Let's get it right.
Yeah.
Married to a nurse practitioner, my wife Tracy. She's been in healthcare for over 20 years. She started off as an LPN. We got together. She got her RN, got her nurse practitioner. She does family practice in the inner city. You're going to get a guy that's transparent. And, you know, I want to listen to what people have to say. When I take your message to Albany, I see nothing but upside in our community.
Yeah.
And it's just getting there.
Tell me about some of the projects that are going on locally. Where are you on the downtown hospital?
Okay. I'm sure you read the press packet. I believe
I did not.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
Yes, I'm
you know, I know this is heavy debate, and being in healthcare, I think, you know, after looking at all the options, going downtown, I think, is going to cost us more money that we could put back in the facility. You know, if I had a grand scheme, I'd like St. Luke's, because I would like to see Utica College actually take the old St. Luke's and do a medical school. I know they talked about it years ago. They didn't have the facility.
Yeah.
I think if we could do a PA school, a medical school, and a CRNA school, oh, my God, the healthcare here would be off the charts.
Yeah.
I think that would be great. I'm all for a new hospital. No doubt about it. I think it's a big draw. I think it's a big draw for new talented surgeons, doctors. I think the community deserves it. We're sitting on a winning lottery ticket. I think this is an amazing opportunity.
Just not downtown.
No, the problem that I have with downtown is, obviously, eminent domain. I have an issue with that because we do have other options.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the cost to level the 6 blocks, I would like to see go back into the facility itself. Maybe make it a little bit bigger. Maybe make the ED a little bit bigger. I did talk to some of the folks over, and the way they're stacking the hospital, the design is great. The way they're stacking it, it's they ask the physicians, they ask the staff, hey, what do you guys need? Which I think is great.
It seems like there'll be the everything will be accessible.
Yeah.
And the way things are transitioned from department to department, all that will really.
Yeah, they really did their
work.
homework, and it was really a great concept. I've been in a lot of hospitals. I've worked in every hospital in this area, from Bassett to Herkimer, Rome. I've been in Hamilton's, and I think the way they're doing it, that they really have a great design. I would like to see the ED a little bit bigger if we could, just because, well, you know, you guys hear the nightmares on the wait times.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want, if we don't have to wait, obviously, you want to get to people as...
Sure, get them in, get them out.
Yeah, get them in, get them out. It's good for reimbursement. Mm-hmm. It's good for the community because they don't have to wait. And, you know, that if I had one problem, I think that would be one of them. I'd like to see the ED a little bit bigger.
What do you do with the area if you're not going to put the hospital down there? Because part of this is pretty clear. We've seen emails that we weren't supposed to see. They were released. But we've seen that part of the plan is to transform downtown.
Absolutely.
How do you do that organically? How do you, with investment? What would you do to, if we're going to leave that area alone? Well, that wouldn't be good.
No, I absolutely agree. I'm all for rehabbing downtown. I think it's beautiful down there.
Yeah.
You know, we go down for Saranac Thursdays. We go down just for dinner. We walk around down there, especially when the weather's nice. It's gorgeous. It has an old feel to it, and that's what I love about downtown. Yeah. It's a lot like when I'm walking around Boston. You know, it's a big city, but it doesn't have a big city feel. That's what I love about it.
Well, that's walking over in the brewery district.
Right. Now,
are you walking on Lafayette?
Let's get to that, because that's exactly what we're talking about. I want to transition the brewery district into Lafayette. And I think you're starting to see a lot of growth. You're starting to see, you know, coffee shops popping up, and it's only a matter of time till it comes down to that area. Mm-hmm. Young people are coming back in a way and opening and doing their own thing, and I think that's awesome. And I think that they're going to start matriculating down to that area. I absolutely would like to get them as much money as possible from state funding. Mm-hmm. That would be a huge lobby. I agree. We have to do something with that area, because I think the biggest waste is the beauty that it could be, that it should be.
How do you handle this? We're told that if it doesn't go downtown, that the money's not coming. There will be no new hospital. If you were given that decision, what do you do?
You know, that's a good question, and that's something.
And by the way, they hold the keys to the car because it's the money. That's the governor. It seems like the governor wants it to go to transform downtown. So if the decision is between a hospital downtown or no new hospital, what would your decision be?
I'd have to sit down with the governor and talk to him. And clearly, if the governor's pushing for this, he doesn't understand.
I don't want to bring the governor into it.
Okay.
Let's just say,
Let's
just say, and I know it's hypothetical.
Right.
You have two choices.
Right.
It's either going downtown,
right,
or we don't get it. What do you do?
That's a good question. I'd have to ponder that. Yeah. Honestly, I'd really have to think about that because we deserve this hospital. But I also know that we deserve to maximize the amount of money we're getting for the best healthcare we can offer.
I get that. Yeah.
And, eminent domain is a tricky subject.
Sure is.
It's like, how do we pick and choose? It's like, you're holding two people over the side of a cliff. Which one do you save?
Yeah.
I just think that eminent domain to me in this situation is a little uncalled for because we do have another site. And how do we tell people that came here, worked hard, they do own their businesses? I'm sorry, we're going to take that from you. We're not going to give you enough to move it. And I'm sorry. That's not what this country's about.
I get that.
So it's a couple sticking points for me.
So for you, that could be worth saying no project. The eminent domain, avoiding eminent domain, that could be worth saying we won't take the money.
Like I said, I'd really have to think about it.
Okay, all right. Will you be on the No Hospital Downtown people have been touting that there's a candidate coming. Will you be on that line, on the No Hospital Downtown line?
I haven't been approached about it.
Okay.
And
because they've not been telling us that there's a candidate coming?
Really? This is the first I'm hearing about it.
Yeah, but it was, I think, alluded to as a congressional candidate.
Okay. All right.
So just a quick clarification, minor note. I've always called the emergency room ER. I've always heard ER.
ED.
I heard you call it ED. Yeah. Is there like a rebranding change?
Yeah,
it's or is that just people who work there call it
an emergency room is one room,
right? This is the whole department.
It's always been called ER,
right? That's old school. That's just it's just like they used to be OR rooms. Now they're OR suites.
George Clooney's on the line. He's saying, "Why didn't you tell us this 20 years ago?"
I know, right?
Come on.
I would have been able to work out some deal with Viagra or something.
Could have been,
could have been an endorsement deal.
Emergency department. We didn't have to call it ER. Could have been ED. All right. What else? What other issues? Where are you on the school shootings? You're as a Republican.
Yep.
What can you do to make our schools safer? And where are you on guns?
Okay, I'm pro Second Amendment. School safety is huge. We have discussed before that I have a 15-month-old granddaughter, and that's really what sparked all this. I talk to so many people out there. I worry about my kids going to school. The worst thing we should be worrying about is our kids learning in school so they can go on to a better life. I think resource officers are going to be the pathway right now. We have to get as many people on the floors in the schools, resource officers, to help out. I think it does two things. One, it gives the kids a sense of there's somebody here looking out for me. Hopefully they could see problems and diffuse problems before they happen, before we get to a serious issue. And I think it also builds trust in the community because a lot of these people are law enforcement, so they'll see them out on the streets in the neighborhoods. Oh, hey, that's Mr. So-and-so. I see him in school all the time. So I think that's a great start. I'll tell you, like I said, I got a 15-month-old granddaughter. She is the pinnacle of my world. And the last thing I want is anybody worrying about their kids going to school.
Now, you moved away and been to some really cool places.
Yeah.
And you came back. Family always seems to be the reason that people come back.
Yeah.
So, but we're told that there's a mass exodus out of New York based on the high cost of living, taxes, tough to do business here.
Yep.
What would your strategy be in that regard?
We have to lobby for tax deductions. We have to really go into Albany and say, listen, enough's enough. I mean, we have this is a great state. This is a great town. The 119th is a great district.
Yeah.
You could drive through it and feel the history and feel what used to be here. We need to bring that back. The only way we're going to do it is get the cost of living down. The only thing we cannot change is the weather. I always tell people, our kids are moving away because they can't find jobs. If they're moving away for the weather, nothing we can do about that.
Where are we overspending? If you're cutting taxes, what gets cut?
That is a good question, and that's something I'm going to have to look deeper into because I don't believe that even us at our level are getting told all the real numbers on everything. So for me to say I'd cut this or cut that, it's just unfair because I don't have the actual numbers in front of me.
We spend a lot of money on education.
Yep.
Utica, Rome, Frankfurt, and these are parts of your district.
Absolutely.
All have had funding cuts.
Right.
How do we? Schools cannot operate without funding.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I think it's an atrocity. I think, the two things you never cut in a community is healthcare and education.
Yeah.
If we're not educating our kids, how do we expect them to do better in life? Okay? It's unfair to them. So we have to, like I said, really lobby hard in Albany for money. We have to get that tax dollars here. Our kids deserve it.
Mm-hmm. Did you have something? We're good. Oh, we're out of time.
We are.
I appreciate your time.
I appreciate your time.
I think we
Thank
hit all the issues. Very interesting. Dennis Bova, running as Republican, 119th. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.